The reaction of the Orange Flag faithful told the story. Standing on the top step for the sixth time this year, six of the most straightforward victories you will ever see, Nico Rosberg received muted applause, and even a smattering of boos. Lewis Hamilton, to his left, was cheered like a hero, having made it to the podium from the last row of the grid. Rosberg might have won the Belgian Grand Prix, but Hamilton was the moral victor, the gutsy racer you cannot help but admire. In some ways the reaction was harsh on Rosberg, who did all he needed to do, leading from pole position and avoiding the melee that ensued behind him. But his performances this term have not caught the imagination. A 9-point deficit to his teammate feels generous given that in all 6 of his wins in 2016 he has not had to execute a single overtake, other than off the line. Whereas Hamilton has packed in more drama to this season than many would manage in years, with car breakdowns, collisions and to starts from the back along the way. He found the perfect balance between aggression and caution here, navigating his way through the mayhem. Good fortune and immaculate timing played their part too, ensuring he had made it up to 5th from 21st in just 8 laps. This demonstration in damage limitation was beyond Hamilton's wildest dreams, even if he could not close down Daniel Ricciardo in the closing stages. The pace of his competitors and the frailty of Pirelli's tires left him fearing the top 10 finish might be the best he could manage. On Saturday night he believed the podium was distinctly unlikely. But even without the turbulent weather spot Francorchamps is renowned for, the race played perfectly into his hands. 3 of his principal rivals, the 2 Ferraris and the local hero Max Verstappen, were effectively neutered after turn 1. It means the day he had been fearing for months ended with only 10 points lost in the championship. Now he can look forward to a run of races where he has been utterly dominant in recent years. None of the numbers which have dominated this weekend, a 60-place grid penalty, 21st on the grid, 3 new engines, matter, other than he still has a lead in the standings. The 3-time champion seemed taken aback by the smoothness of his progress on the way to the record-breaking drive at Spa. No one has ever made it to the podium from so far down the grid. I really was not expecting that, Hamilton said afterwards. I had no idea what was possible. I just came with a positive attitude and it worked. I was very grateful to be able to capitalize on all the commotion that happened along the way. The fight is really on, and hopefully for us it'll be a cleaner second half of the season and we can see some good fights. It was a freebie for Nico, but for me it was a good race and I am just grateful to be sitting up here. Since I was 8 years old every race has been different. Today was about trying to approach it not too aggressive, not too easy. As a team we had just the right balance. The classy Rosberg could only concede that his rival had done a fine job. It's been great to get to win on this special day, the German said. Lewis starting from the back made it a lot easier. Interestingly, Toto Wolff, the Mercedes boss, has been saying for months he thinks the title will go to the final race. Here his interpretation was ever so slightly different. It has been bouncing a bit in both directions, Wolff said. It's going to go long in the season before we know which way it is going to go. This was a tale of 2 races really, one in the first 9 laps of utter carnage, before a slightly more subdued affair following the red flag for Kevin Magnussen's horrific shunt. Verstappen, in the warm fall afternoon, was sluggish off the line from second but dove down the inside of Kimi Räikkönen anyway. They left each other just enough space, but Sebastian Vettel, round the outside, did not, turning on his Ferrari teammate. It effectively ruined all 3 of their races. The Red Bull man's trouble did not end there. Some of his defensive moves on Räikkönen raised eyebrows, and a few swear words from the Finn, but the stewards did not get involved. 11th was all he could give the thousands who had come across the border from Holland to cheer. Vettel finished 6th, 3 places ahead of Räikkönen. The frenetic opening claimed other victims too. Pascal Wehrlein drove into the back of Jenson Button, ruining a promising grid position. Marcus Ericsson and Carlos Sainz also retired, before Magnussen's almighty crash at the top of Eau Rouge. The race was reset and from there Hamilton picked off Fernando Alonso, who had climbed right through the pack with the Englishman from the back of the grid, and Nico Hülkenberg to take 3rd. By then he had burned through too much rubber to have hope of chasing down Ricciardo. The Australian continued his bizarre celebration on the podium, encouraging his compatriot doing the interviews, Mark Webber, to take a swig of bubbly from his sweaty shoes. It was a sweet day for Hamilton, but not sweet enough to take a sip himself.